Now, all right, we are recording.
All right.
Statistically likely.
Okay, so yeah, so you start, it uses inferior Lisp. Um so you can start up a REPL and get your stuff. You can send over stuff like normal. You can, I think, reload the oh there. So this is, I just compiled it to Lua here. So there's a shortcut to see that, the generated code, I guess.
Oh, cool.
Let's see if I can Fennel, what do we got here? Fennel reload, I guess. Oh yeah, that's how you reload an entire module, which is not going to work because I'm not running it through LÖVE right now. Yeah, so that's how that works. So yeah, it has all the basics. You can send over functions to the REPL and reload modules and that kind of stuff. Then I don't know if you guys have like any familiarity with Lua at all, but do I need to go over like a quick crash course in Lua?
You might need to. I think I need a refresher. I mean, I did some embedded Lua stuff at one point,
Yeah.
but it's been a while.
Like a decade for me.
Yeah. So I don't really have to talk that much about Lua itself because Fennel kind of improves some stuff, like things being immutable by default and local by default. So I remember I've only written Lua like one time before this, but I remember that was an easy gotcha, is that like things could be global without you realizing it, even if you like declare them inside of a function and stuff. But so you don't have to worry about that kind of stuff with Fennel. And
what
then
version are there like specific versions that Fennel supports of Lua? Because I know that Lua kind of locks down their versions and then move on.
Yeah, so there's a few different ways to install Fennel. You can install it. So what I did is they just have a binary where you don't even need Lua installed. It's just statically linked, I guess. So that whatever Lua version that comes with, but then also it says looks like you need 5.1, 5.2, or 5.3 if you use the script.
Okay, cool. Very cool. Because I was actually thinking of using it for NeoVim.
Oh yeah.
It only supports 5.5, I believe.
Okay. So yeah, I don't know if that would work or not.
For what? I didn't quite hear that. Were you thinking of using it for what?
NeoVim.
NeoVim. Ah, okay.
Yeah, and there's a Fennel IRC channel that's got some really active, like the maintainers of it are in there and they're really active. But so that's what, if I have questions or anything, that's a good place to go because the dudes that made it are in there. Yeah, so let's see. So yeah, so you guys, I can show you my beautiful game with. So actually, I wasn't done going over the Lua stuff, I guess. So basically, everything in Lua is the only data structure is a hash map, which they call tables. Even arrays are hash maps of just indices starting at 1. Lua is one of those languages. So you have to like, but I think someone told me like if you have a table of just a whole bunch of numerical indices in order, that it'll actually store it sequentially in memory and all that good stuff not on the heap. So like apparently it's got some smart stuff going on there, but yeah, but so basically like if you delete an index from an array, all you're really doing is deleting that key from a table. So then like you can still access that key and it'll just return nil, which specifically, I don't know if this is a Lua thing or a Fennel thing, but nil only ever means like this table does not have a value assigned. This table thing does not have a value assigned to it or whatever. It's not like a placeholder for false or whatever. Like there's a separate false. So like if something's nil, you know it's because that key doesn't exist in the table.
Are you allowed to do if table? Or do you have to do if table is defined or something like that?
So yeah, so let's see. So
I
we
remember
have
something about undefing tables or something.
Yeah, so let's test just some of this Boolean stuff really quick because it's been a while since I've done this. So let's see. So we have, I assume there's when, yeah. So when a, oh, how do I print text? I wonder. Let's see. Let me pull up a Lua quick reference here really quick. Lua cheat sheet. All right, it's just print.
Yeah.
It looks like. Okay, so then let's say okay, local A is hello. So global A is aliased by a local.
Is that because you made a reference to it at one point?
I think that must, yeah, I think that's must be the problem. So let's see if we do a local B. Okay, yeah. So now let's say when B print. All right. So yeah. So you can do it like that. So anything that's not false or just nil because it's unassigned, I guess. Just typical Lisp stuff.
Can we see? What about 0? Is 0 false?
I believe it's only false and nil, but
nice.
Yeah. Okay, so got your good Lispy Boolean logic there. Here's my beautiful game code. I'm sure there's a lot of things that could be done better, but
I saw you do something other than local. It was like var.
Var, yeah. So var is how you do a mutable variable. So
they're normally static or unchangeable then?
Yeah, so by default in Fennel specifically, not Lua, things declared with local are immutable by default.
Okay.
Which doesn't mean like you can still let's say you could it's like declaring a JavaScript const or whatever. Like you can still mutate the table, but you can't change the binding.
Okay.
And to update the table, there's tset where you give it a table and a key, which keywords are just translated to strings in the Lua. And then a new value or whatever. Or you can see, or or you can just set it like this.
Does Fennel have def macro?
It does have macros. I didn't mess with macros any in for the game. I didn't come across a need for them, but I did play with them the other day. Like I made a thing so since it returns nil when there's not a key in the table, I made a macro that would instead like assert that thing was actually used so that I could not have a hard to track down bug because I typoed a key or something.
Is there any support for reader macros?
No, they were talking about in the IRC the other day, they were talking about having it so you could make your own like somehow add custom support for doing stuff like having an exclamation mark there and having the reader somehow I don't know. It was above my Fennel level that they were talking, but they were talking about doing some kind of special reader stuff so you could do stuff like have an exclamation mark here and that would be an error if the key didn't exist kind of stuff.
Do split braces represent vectors or are they just parentheses?
It is closure style. Yeah. So the square braces are vectors and the curlies are tables.
And then you got the colons though there, and is similar to the Lua colons? It's a module?
That's exactly the Lua colons. It's how you do methods.
Okay.
So basically, for those that don't know, when you access a table key with a colon, it expects that key to have a function where the first parameter is the table itself. So that's how it does methods. And then basically how you like modularize the code, I guess, is you have like a file is a module, and then at the bottom you just have a table where you can, and then from another file you can, I think it's require, then mode game or whatever, and you can assign that to something, and then you have access to that table. So like then I could do that from another file, and I'd have access to the draw method and the update method and keep rest method, which is what so if I go graph is where we have, so this is from a couple Lisp Game Jams ago, guy that won Technomancy, he's the line again guy, and he works on Fennel, but his game won, and so someone made like basically a template out of his game. So that's what I used to start my game, and it basically does all this kind of boilerplate stuff for you. So you can, so basically, let's see. So yeah, so like here, so love.draw is the engine calls that, love.load engine calls that, but then it calls, in here it calls mode.draw, and mode is by default set to require mode game. So mode is set to this table here. And then I can have other files with other modes, like I have a pause one. And then, so that's how that stuff kind of works. Yeah, so I guess then if you want to do the, assuming you're using this kind of template I have, which I'm guessing it works the same way, even if you're not, but if you, let me quit out of this inferior Lisp, about to see my beautiful game. So if you give a prefix argument to the REPL command, then it asks you down here for the actual like command to run. So if you just do love in the current directory, and then it should launch my game, which is over my other monitor. Sound warning, headphone warning. Yeah, so then I have a REPL here still. I can do live reloading stuff. So like let's see what my speed is. So like there's my speed.
Yep.
So I don't know. So I just said player speed. So if I make this 1,000, hopefully that should be a lot faster. I don't know if I might have to reload the whole module for it to work with love, but I'm just going to try evaluating this. I don't know if it's sending it or not.
You're going to evaluate the whole function?
Yeah, I'm trying to evaluate the function. I don't think it's, let's see, Fennel. Actually, no, it's Lisp. Well,
it looks like it's in an init function. Why would we expect init to be called again?
Oh yeah, good point. We would not. So I should just be able to say, see, I made my state global so I can access it from here. So I think that's what, no. So my state isn't global, but I know I made a way to get to it from here. So
it looks like it isn't var state declaring a global mutable variable.
No, it's scoped to this module.
Oh, it's scoped to the file.
Yeah,
I gotcha. And so if you
if you do global, that's how you get it global.
Oh, okay.
So does Fennel then have like enter maybe, like some other schemes?
No, doesn't. I'm trying to remember. Let me check wrap because there's some global somewhere. Oh, there we go. Go S. I just made a global S that points to it.
Nice. Why does it not like you up there?
I'm wondering that as well. All right. I'm going to. Can you guys hear like my computer sound?
Not at all.
Yeah,
Okay, good. Because there's a really obnoxious sound effect every time I'm dying, but I won't bother getting rid of it if you guys can't hear it. All right.
What if I want to hear the obnoxious sounds of the game?
Do what?
What if I want to hear the obnoxious sounds of the game?
Well, I don't know how to help you with that. I just press screen share.
When he dies, it just sounds like this.
Oh, okay. There's like a if you go to your microphone, there's a leave computer audio, I think, or no, audio settings.
Okay, select the microphone, select the speaker.
Ooh, we can all share the annoying.
Leave computer audio, is that what?
I don't know. I don't know if that's what that does.
I'm going to click it. Wish me luck.
Okay. I don't hear anything. Can you say anything?
Okay, that just made me not connected to audio anymore.
Oh, that's not.
So I couldn't hear you guys.
Oh, awesome.
Okay, so yeah, I know I had like live coding stuff working when I was doing this on my laptop originally. I don't remember how I set that up. Let me try just relaunching it. Maybe it's just being weird. Okay, so if there's my there's my state.
There we go. Access to everything.
Yeah. I can just mutate everything at will. It'll all be okay.
How did you connect your state? Did you just assign keys to the state?
So can you rephrase?
Looked like you had a global S, right?
Yep. So I had global S state. So that assigned.
Okay,
yeah.
It assigned state to S.
Yeah, because I just wanted a short thing to type in the REPL to get to that.
Yeah, that makes sense. Thank you.
Okay, so I should be able to say like S dot.
Do you have
play.
completion?
I don't in the REPL because it's just inferior Lisp. I don't. Let's see. Yeah, so it looks like at least not how I have it set up. I don't. I feel like I did when I was writing this, but I might not have.
All right, and the Lisp that you're writing at the bottom, it looks like you're trying to do a LÖVE command instead of a Lisp command.
Yeah, I'll add the parentheses. That's just my flow.
So the question I have is, if you don't know, can you do things like keys of the table or whatever?
Can I do things like keys of the table?
Is there like a function like keys, so you can kind of introspect?
Yes, I'm pretty sure. So let's see.
So nice.
Nope.
For the sound.
Runtime error. Return keys. Attempt to call global keys a nil value.
Nice.
So that's
for the sound. You have to do it for the sound to enable sound sharing. You have to do it when you share your screen. So you'd have to stop sharing and then reshare. And there's a little button in the bottom left. Share computer sound. And
okay, let's see.
And actually do it because there's also an optimized for full screen video clip. So how about you do that?
Okay, so I'm gonna stop share.
It'll share your video better than, or your game probably.
All right, the graphics will really stand out. Let's see.
Oh yeah.
Share computer sound, optimize screen sharing for video clip.
Yeah, I think you want to click both of those.
Yep. Okay.
Now make them
How?
back. Actually,
how's that?
Like I can't read the text now. Does it look fuzzy to you? It looks fuzzy to me.
Yeah, it might be like optimized for like the recording versus optimized for live.
Yeah. Okay.
Video.
Yeah.
So should I switch that back?
Yeah, switch that one back. Yeah, so stop share and reshare, and let's see.
All right.
We'll get this right.
Okay, does that look better?
Yeah, that looks better. Now let's have you die and see if we get an annoying.
All right, everyone. Okay, no one wearing headphones?
Yep.
Oh, that's
yeah,
not the right. That's not the right sound.
That's a sound though.
There's the sound.
Yeah,
Why do we want this again?
That really sounds like it should belong on that old computer over there. I like it.
All right. Yeah, I can make that laser sound not do that every time.
No, leave it. I approve.
I think it's perfect because it makes you feel pain inside when your character.
It does.
Yeah, you don't want to die.
What was that called? Brown noise? You heard of
that sound effect?
Yeah. A brown. Yeah.
Did you mean Brownian?
Nope.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So there's white noise generators.
There's brown noise, yeah. There's all sorts of different colors of noise.
Brown noise specifically is the most painful.
All right, so okay, so keys.
I'm looking it up from a Lua perspective because I thought there was a table module that would just give you.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure you're right. I'm pretty sure table. It's like table.keys or something. Nope.
It's weird. There's 4K key comma value in pairs on a table. Speaking of which, does it do things like that? Allow you to loop over pairs?
It should. Let's see. I should have. Oh, I think each is the big. Yeah, each is the big loop thing in Fennel. So
that's like a side effecty loop, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And then 4, I think 4 is the maybe. Oop, what is that? Oh, undo tree. I've never actually seen the undo tree.
Yeah,
nice.
Whatever you press there, that looked pretty cool.
Yeah, is there a way I can see the keys I pressed? Because I have no idea. Let's see. Undo tree. Visualize. CXU.
What is this?
This is Emacs undo tree. Look, I can go through my undo history here. Change my path.
Wow. Is that just a thing that's default?
I think it's just a standard Emacs thing.
Oh, geez, I see it on mine. Yep.
Crazy.
Oh, wow, and you can navigate through, and it shows you.
Yep, it just does it in real time.
Really? Is there a way that? Wow. Okay.
And you can navigate with left.
I've legitimately had to use it a few times because I was like, "Oh no, I undid something and started typing, and then I'm stuck in this new state."
Yeah, I wish I would have known about this before.
Yeah, that's really nice.
It is.
How much memory does that have? Like, can I set that to infinite?
I don't know.
You should try on a work project and just see how far back you can.
Yeah.
There's a variable called undo limit.
Yeah.
And its default value, I don't know why it was changed for me. The global value is apparently 80,000, but my current value is 80 million. I don't know how that happened.
A lot of changes. I think that's sufficient for my needs.
Well, if Emacs starts consuming a lot of memory, you know why now.
It's so that I can literally undo every single key press for decades on end along multiple paths just in case.
80 million undo states.
Thank you, Emacs. I approve.
Let me know if you ever hit that, Will. I will be impressed.
Probably dump some giant XML file or something.
I have a habit of closing Emacs every so often, so I probably will never reach it.
I hope they have a support group for that. Hi, I'm William Mess, and I occasionally close my Emacs. Hi, William.
Yeah, It kind of
Okay,
looks
so
like
yeah.
people don't grab keys out of a table, which is odd because for a language with tables,
Yeah,
they like their for loops to do it. But I would expect maybe Fennel. I feel like Fennel really ought to have a solution for this because
or maybe there's a couple libraries that like everything uses that I'm trying to remember what it's called. Surely I include it somewhere. Let's see.
There's something called get non-sequential keys.
Like in Lua? Like in
Fennel,
the standard? Oh, Fennel?
I think.
I'm trying to remember. There's
I'm
a...
looking at the code for Fennel to see if I can find. Oh, yeah, okay. There's this thing called Fennel view. And he has sort keys and get non-sequential keys.
Fennel view?
Yeah, Fennel view.
All right. Every time I look up Fennel, I just get stuff about this vegetable or whatever it is.
I know.
Okay, Fennel
like
view.
green, right?
Yeah. I don't actually see it exporting anything. Oh, I wonder if it's because Fennel view, the intent of it is to have a function called Fennel view, which returns a string representation of a thing, and you can add options like depth and indentation.
Okay, so it's basically just Fennel's like it's a
Pretty
print,
printer.
like its display function then, right?
Yeah, it's
like how to print
printer.
tables and how it internally prints tables and all that good stuff.
But it uses each key K with pairs to get the keys. It looks like.
Gotcha. Surely, I'm still trying to. Let's see, Lua.
We're looking Fennel Lua and see what functions that produces.
I know there's a couple libraries that are just kind of de facto Lua standard libraries, but I can't remember what they're called. Oh, I should have them in my folder, I guess.
You mean like, yeah.
Let's see,
table.
Okay, Loom, how do you pronounce that, is one. So here, I guess I can link.
Something called a KV map.
Yeah, so that library I linked is a really common include in Lua. It's got a bunch of stuff for just kind of general useful stuff, plus things for game programming.
Which library was this?
The one I just linked in Slack, Lume, I don't know how you pronounce it. And it also has a bunch of like functional stuff, like it's where you get like map and all, any, reduce, that kind of stuff.
Your
So
Loom does have a keys function, returns an array containing each key of the table.
Awesome. So I should be able to, and I should have that here. So let's see. There we go.
Nice.
Okay, so I should be able
for discoverability.
Yeah, I should be able to say like set. I guess now I'll just do set s dot player dot speed. Okay, so now let's see if I'm faster. Doesn't look like it. Is that? Oh, you know why? It's because I'm pretty sure I reset it by just recalling that init function.
I'm sorry, late to this. Where did you get your sound files from?
I got them from itch.io.
Aha.
Lots of indie game resources there.
Oh, I forgot about Itch. That's great.
Yeah, Itch is great.
That's my daughter.
Yeah, so I think it's calling this every time. So let's see if I can. Let's reload. Expected white space before opening delimiter. What did I mess up? Oh, there's a.
Wow. Even the error messages are nice.
Yeah, they are pretty nice. Yeah, so okay, so yeah, now I'm really fast. So I'm gonna make that laser sound stop.
I feel like that guy really knows how to hit you.
Yeah, he does. It's just a timing thing. So if you don't kill him before the yellow circle fades out, if you don't press, you just have to press the direction button toward the bug or the worm or whatever before the yellow circle fades out. And if you are too slow, it kills you, basically.
Mm.
All right. So I'm trying to remember how to use this stupid thing. Okay, that should do the trick. So let's see if it, so it didn't seem like the just evaluating a function was working before with the LÖVE mode, but let's see if there's a laser sound now. Yep, so it wasn't. So you gotta, for when you're doing the LÖVE stuff, I guess, I think you had to do some like hot reloading hack to make it work. So you have to reload the whole module.
Oh, so you weren't able to recompile just update bugs?
Yeah, you gotta do the whole module since it exports the. I think since he did some hack where.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I don't know. He did a whole bunch of write-ups on like how he did different things, but oh, and I should probably link. Let's see. There's a couple more things I should probably link here.
Is this sufficient just to export the module itself?
Like computationally
or I'm sorry, yeah, just to recompile this module and load it.
Yeah, I mean it like does it right away. If that's what you mean. Like it's not like a slow process to reload the module. Is that what you're talking about?
I was just curious how you would do it.
Oh, I'm just pressing. I could assign a key combo to Fennel reload, but I don't have one, so I'm just opening this and pressing enter to do it.
Cool.
Yeah, so let me go to my GitHub. Okay, so here's the game. I'm gonna link the game that this template thing I used is based off of. So there's the game that won a couple years ago. And then this is what I used is like a base for mine, which is based off of that. And it kind of walks you through how to set it up and stuff. Yeah, but it was really quick to learn. Like, I think I said in Slack a while back, but like I remember that the game jam was happening like Friday and it was over Sunday or something. So I learned Lua and Fennel enough to make a game and the LÖVE engine enough to make a game in that time, and it was pretty quick, easy process.
What were the other resources you used to learn Lua at least?
What were the resources I learned, did you ask?
Yeah.
Or resources I used?
Yeah.
I just I think I just went to the Fennel website and read the quick start guide for Fennel, which I think kind of covers the basics of the table and stuff, or maybe
Gotcha. So you didn't have to
Oh,
like
it looks
go
like
to,
Fennel has a Lua primer. So that's what I used.
gotcha, and that was good enough for you.
Yep, I just read the Lua primer. I read the getting started with Fennel thing, and then I just had the Fennel reference open basically as I was going.
So you actually did
Cool.
submit this then to the game jam?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
I think I came in like 11th out of 30 something.
That's
I
not
don't
bad.
know. Yeah, not bad for a couple days work.
What's
Yeah.
Well, how are the rules on like? So that game I'm playing with, right, where I want to do Arcadia, but it's like it'd be probably
Mhm.
like it's going to be like half C# and half Arcadia. Would that qualify, or would that be a no?
Probably you'd have to ask. Do you know Michael Fiano? He's
No.
Common Lisp guy. He's the one that runs it. But
Yeah, I remember we
he's
met with
in.
him at the Atlanta Functional.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's in both the he's in IRC and the Lisp Discord. He's the one that runs it. So that's I asked him about stuff. But yeah, I'm guessing if it's like a good chunk of its Lisp, I'm guessing it would probably fly.
Okay. I might maybe think about that next year. Or how often do they run? That's the annual?
It's twice a year, fall and spring.
Biannual. Okay.
Yeah, and I'm gonna try and start the beginning next time, so I have 10 days instead of 2.
Do they have like a theme? I guess I never really paid attention to the.
Nope. The theme is just use a Lisp, make a game.
Gotcha. So then the summer and the spring and the fall, they're always the same then, like the same.
Yeah, like I think I don't think they like I think sometimes they don't have them if like no one puts it up or whatever, but I think lately they've been doing them
Gotcha.
regularly. And yeah, it's just the whole thing is just get better at whatever Lisp you're into by making a game in it. It's the whole theme.
It's pretty grassroots from what I've seen.
Yeah. Oh, Fennel. I guess probably Lua probably does this too, but the underscores and numbers thing, I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, Ruby does that. I think.
Yeah, Rust does
I
too.
really miss it.
Pretty nice.
It's really nice. I wish I could just use commas.
Looked like my REPL stopped working again though.
Yeah. I wish Clojure, instead of using commas as a white space character, actually made it work for numbers. That would have been so
Oh yeah.
But they didn't.
That'd be pretty cool.
But it's nice because you can usually paste things from somewhere else with commas and not have to worry about too much cleanup. But
yeah,
I would have personally preferred more if I could do 1, 000, comma 000.
Yeah.
Work as a number. If I ever make one, that's gonna work.
So I bet when I try to evaluate a function, I bet that's what's messing up my REPL, because I think that's what I did both times before it stopped working. Yeah, but when you like, that's just a love thing. Like when you just have the normal Fennel REPL at evaluating functions works correctly.
Could it be because your game is like running?
Well, when I close the game, it'll close the REPL. The REPL launches with the game.
Oh.
Like it's the same process.
Can you launch the game from a running REPL? Like, can you start up a REPL and then launch a game?
No, because it's
makes sense in this context.
Because you can't, because it's the engine running, and then you're basically hooking your Fennel code in, your Lua code in, because Lua's the scripting language for the engine. Yeah,
so you can't have like an arbitrary Fennel REPL
yeah.
and start up this project from there. Gotcha.
Yeah, so yeah, he had to like figure out how to hack in a way for you, like to do the live reloading and stuff, because it's just running it's just reading your Lua code as like a script from the engine.
Yeah, and Arcadia was the same way. You had to like hit the play button on the game, and then you could connect your REPL in.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, so that's kind of. Oh, and then it's got all the good stuff like destructuring. You can destructure multiple values and arrays and all that in tables and that kind of stuff. Just anywhere that takes anywhere that would make sense to be able to destructure, it'll work as far as I can tell.
Cool.
Yep, and you got and so each is the side effecty loop. There's also 4 where you can iterate a variable from like one number to another. There's while loops, which do what you would expect. Yeah, and then all the loom or whatever is where you get all the functional stuff. So let me just open a normal Fennel REPL here. So like, except then I won't have access to loom, I'm guessing. Yeah, so never mind. I'm gonna open up the game again. Yeah, so loom's where you have your map, which I don't remember the argument order. I think it's not what you would expect.
Oh man, so Fennel's like really bare bones out of the box, huh? Without loom.
Yeah, like because it's just like it just translates to Lua, which is like designed to be super bare bones. Like its standard library is tiny. Yeah, so you can say like 1, 2, 3. Oh, and then that's another thing. There's like basically you can use fn and give it a name, or you can take off the name. That just makes it an anonymous function. And then lambda has like a special syntax for which arguments can be left off and that kind of stuff. Yeah, but so basically, but and Clojure might do this too. I don't remember, but if you like def in Clojure, does it return a function or does it just like return the name or something?
I think it returns the name as a symbol.
I never used defen for side effectiness.
Yeah, but it's nice in Fennel because like you can assign it to like a key when you make it and also have access to it by name. So you can.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so I don't know if I'd ever do that. But yeah. Like I would either have it where it's an anonymous function that's referenced some other way, right? Or I defen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we should be able to do that. Yep. So we got our map. I can't remember if Fennel has like a nifty shorthand for lambdas or not, like Clojure does. I want to say it does.
Isn't that what your FNX right there is? That's lambda, right?
Yeah, but I didn't know if it had like a how Clojure has your
like a pound
whatever.
parentheses.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Functions and lambdas. Oh, I forgot it has like a doc macro and all that stuff. I forgot about that.
A doc macro?
Yeah, like where you can see the like. Let's see.
Actually, doc. Gotcha.
Yeah. So undocumented, but probably because it's a Lua thing and not a Fennel thing, but so it doesn't have the doc string. I'm not seeing a shorthand. Yeah, but FN's pretty close. Or pretty short, I mean, anyway.
I was about to say the same thing. I think it's good enough.
Yeah.
I've heard suggestions in both Elixir and sometimes Clojure land that you should not teach the new people the shorthands. Always work with the FNs. And in general, it'd be more readable anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, about half the people I work with despise the hash percent things.
Oh, yeah.
I use them a little bit. That's how I know that they do, because they'll get angry.
Yeah. No, I use them for like little one-line short things, but
Yeah, if it's more than
it's longer
20 characters or so,
yeah.
I don't use it. And if you have more than one argument going into the thing, yeah, you can do it %1, %2, but no.
Yeah.
I will never do that.
Yeah. Oh, and then I guess thing I didn't cover that's kind of important is you can, like, if you don't have the name of the key or whatever at compile time, if it's a runtime thing, you can do like dot table key and get it that way instead of
cool.
t.a.
So it's kind of like Clojure's shortcut for things versus being able to do it the long way.
Yeah, so basically this, which that's going to be an error, obviously, and this should be the exact same error, the same. And same thing for this.
So what's the colon again?
The colon's method, how you call a method, passes the table as the first argument.
So I'm a little confused about that. I'm having a hard time. If I were to do doc, can you do a doc real quick?
Let's see.
Okay, doc colon doc.
Doc colon doc?
Yeah.
Like that?
Yeah. Yeah, I was curious. I don't understand how methods are hooked up.
Okay, let me show you an example in here. Surely I made a method somewhere. Let me navigate my beautiful code really quick.
Like there's a method called bump init or something, right? I saw a map colon.
Yeah, that's an import. I guess I can go to bump here. I got it. But it's not gonna be Fennel.
Oh, that's all right. Still
curious.
But
same concept. So let's look for a init here. Oh, and since it's a method, it's not gonna show up in that thing probably. Init. All right, we're gonna go back to Fennel and I'll just show an example. Okay, so let's say, oh look, here's some methods. Or no, those aren't methods. Never mind. Okay, so let's say
those are functions on your table, right? The
yeah,
functions
those are
on
just
your module as a table.
Yeah, these are just functions that, like, if you call them as methods, they will error because they're. So but if I made a function called move. Yeah, so I'm gonna make a local guy, and he's gonna have an X and a Y. And then if I made a function called move, actually I'm gonna make him down here. It took a guy, a dx, and a dy. Then I could say tset guy x plus whatever. Then I don't know off the top of my head the shortest way the shortest Fennel way to just increment a thing, but you get the idea, right? I move his x and his y by dx and dy. So this is a method because it takes the guy himself as the first argument. So I could say move. So then if I say guy move, then I just have to give it a dx and a dy. We'll say moves 4 to the right. So see how I don't actually pass the guy parameter to it? The colon makes it so that the table itself, guy, is passed to move as the first argument.
So I could call simultaneously guy dot move space guy space 4 space.
Yes, that would also work. There's a shorthand for that.
Okay.
Kind of reminds me of like Python methods.
Oh yeah.
Wait, then to access the x and the y, you just be guy.x, guy.y?
In here, you mean?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you can say just guy.x. Or you could say dot guy x, or you can say tset guy x if you want to set it, which that doesn't say tset. Tset guy x 6 would set it to 6.
So how would you know, like, interesting methods versus attributes?
How would I know what?
Like class methods versus the class or the object attributes.
Oh, you don't. It's all key value pair stuff. Tables all the way down.
It's all
Gotcha.
tables.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
except for things that
All
are
the way
not
down.
functions. Except I think functions are even kind of some kind of like runnable table thing.
Yeah, probably. I think I think even functions have like their own.
Yeah, I think a table is inherently executable, and a function, like there's some attribute of a table that makes it executable. Like the attribute is parentheses or something.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know enough about Lua to know all the details of that, but I did read the Fennel Lua primer, so I'm pretty much an expert.
Lua is one of those cool fundamental idea languages.
Yeah.
Kind of like Lisp is made of lists, and Lua is made of tables.
Yep.
And TCL is all strings.
And Prolog is databases.
Well, knowledge bases.
Relational database, yeah.
KV. I guess that's the right term.
Yep, so that's Fennel.
Pretty neat.
That's pretty interesting. So it's basically all the same stuff you would expect out of Lua, except some syntax magic, syntax sugar, plus this concept of local versus var.
Sorry, can you repeat that? I was distracted.
No. I was trying to figure out the value add. So you get Lisp, you get some syntax sugar in there.
Yep. You get macros, which I didn't show off, but they're.
Oh, that's true. Yep. And then you basically get Lua.
Yep.
You get local. For how would I have done the local? How would I have done the immutable in Lua?
So in Lua, you have to say like so for all of these functions I've declared in Lua, you would have to say local function or whatever. If you just say function, blah blah, they're global. And things like if you declare something inside of a function in Lua without local, it's global.
Oh, that's.
But you have let. You have let blocks, right?
Yeah, and you have let and
those are only in the let block, right? Like dead bugs is only inside that let block, right?
Yeah. Everything in Fennel is like lexically scoped or whatever, unless I think it's all lexically scoped anyway. But global wise, everything's local unless you specifically say it's not, which is like the opposite of Lua.
Well, let's look at that for just a moment. Do you have dynamic variables? So if I did,
I don't think you have dynamic.
Is that what you're going to ask?
Sorry, I was just saying I'm heading out a bit early today, so I'll see you guys later.
Oh no! See you later, Artem.
See ya.
Thanks
for joining.
Later.
All right, so here's your test. You make a global variable foo, right? And you give it a value.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's just global, not dynamic.
Do you have any sort of atom type thing like enclosure?
That's how it does that's like a closure, like asynchronous thing. Is that how that works?
Yeah, you're allowed to change the value of the atom.
Yeah, okay.
Reset basically.
No, I don't think it has any. I mean, you can just have you can have things that you can change, but it doesn't have like the same restrictions on it that closure does.
Var is the one where it's changeable. Okay.
Yep.
But are you in a single thread in Lua?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Okay, that's the main thing that you get with Atom is it's supposed to be thread safe.
Yeah.
So the example with the dynamic variable to prove to yourself would be, well, I guess either read the docs and it says so, or do global variable, call it foo, give it give it a name, or number. Yep.
Let's say.
And then write a
Got it.
function that outputs the value of that. You
What did
probably
I
want to
do?
have the output as a side effect. And what in the world?
I broke it again.
You're in the context of your game, aren't you? And you tried to compile a function because you have access.
I guess yeah, I do have my game running. All right, let me start a normal REPL here.
Can you link your actual game? Did you publish that somewhere?
Oh yeah, I can.
Or did he? No, you published a template.
Yeah, yeah. So for the Lisp Game Jam, that's one of the requirements is your game has to be like the source code has to be available and all that good stuff, because the whole idea of it is you can learn from other people's stuff from previous years.
Okay.
But yeah, let me find my game here. All right, so there's that. Okay, so back to our test.
Cool.
Okay, so now if we call test, get our 5, let A 4. Yep. Okay.
Yep. Not so global is definitely not the same as dynamic.
Yep. I'm gonna Google it now though. Make sure there's not like, because some languages have like a thing besides let.
Yeah, even
it.
Clojure.
Yeah, Clojure has
special
binding or
attributes
whatever,
to make
doesn't
something
it?
Dynamic. Yeah.
Oh, and you've got your actual game up on itch too.
Yeah.
Dynamic variables will allow you to implement a condition system
Yep.
if you want that. Fennel, uses, side effects, interactions, dosage, and warning.
We want to know about the side effects.
Right.
All right, yeah, I'm not seeing anything about. That's what sucks about super small languages. It's hard to find things, especially when it's named after something else.
I just 5-starred your game on itch.io.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
It's gonna be famous.
Everybody else should 5-star his game. Yeah. Maybe even download it.
Do what?
And maybe even download and play it.
Oh yeah, it's a pretty fun game. I got a few minutes out of it.
How do you 5-star it?
Oh yeah. So I have an account on itch.io and so
On itch, gotcha.
itch, yeah.
No, yeah, he 5-starred my GitHub repo.
Yeah, I was like, when did that happen?
I think you can only star, and that's like a bookmark. But yeah, on this it's a rating. So I'm following him now, and then I rated the game, and it was like, oh yeah, 5 stars.
Oh, I'm not logged in. Doesn't even know it's my game. There we go. Now it does. It says I recently updated this page. I don't think I did. I got followed.
Oh, you did?
You registered 60 days ago. It's a nice round number of days.
Yeah,
So,
when I got the tile set for the game I was playing around in C#/Arcadia.
Oh, yeah.
That's where I got it from.
I'm not even registered there yet, so.
Yeah, so lately I've been playing around with some Common Lisp game stuff.
How did this hook in? Wait, did this hook into your Common Lisp? That's what you said earlier back in the day.
No, this is something. This is Fennel. Then I'm also playing around with Common Lisp for game development stuff.
Gotcha.
So I've been working on like an old school roguelike in Common Lisp. That's been fun.
Gotcha. Do you want to show that game too?
I can.
Up to you.
Let's see. So for this, I'm trying to remember, I have to do specific stuff to get it to.
I'll be right back.
All right, so I gotta, for some reason from Windows, for it to run, for SDL to work, I have to run the REPL from a terminal and then connect from here.
Yeah, I never actually used SBCL on Windows, or actually my Windows is lacking.
Oh yeah,
used in a while.
Yep, SBCL works. I think they even. Oh no, I thought they took out the Windows port is fragile in too, but they didn't. So yeah, it still says the Windows port is fragile. That's why you just drop $1,500 on LispWorks for Windows. Yeah.
How much is LispWorks?
A 64 bit Windows key that will let you like deploy binaries and stuff is $1,500.
Oh yeah, no, thanks.
That's really good though.
Not for hobby development. That's like buying a whole computer.
It is. All right. Oh, duh. Okay. These sprites might look a little familiar, but so I don't have any animations or anything yet. So I was doing it just with incurses on like for terminal, like a terminal interface.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't work on Windows because it's incurses. So I started working on STL.
Wait, curses doesn't work on Windows? But you're using
incurses doesn't, no.
You're using the was it the Ming
W?
Yeah, no, it doesn't have Windows support.
Oh.
There's like I think it's PD curses or something as a Windows port. I'm not sure what the status on that is. There's like some compatibility stuff, but just standard incurses won't work. Yeah, so this is what I've been playing around with lately. So I have this has been me experimenting, so I'm probably not doing a lot of stuff the best way to do it, but let me pull up so been using Clos very heavily there's a library called dynamic mixins, which will let you like add and remove sub or super classes dynamically, and so I'm basically using those as like mixins, I guess, which kind of analogous to like components, I guess, an ECS kind of thing, where I have like let me just pull something up. So I have these mixins. So like this one give the things that can move, so then they have a dx, a dy friction, that kind of stuff, and then I can do my methods and before and after methods and all that kind of stuff on the different mixins to do different stuff.
Does this have sound too somehow?
No, this one doesn't have sound.
Is that an option in the library you're using, or no?
I'm using STL. So it's like there's STL audio, STL2 dash audio or whatever for it, but I haven't gotten around to sound yet. Like I haven't even added animations or anything. Yeah, so I think you were gone for this, Chris, but I was using incurses on Linux, developing this just like as a terminal thing, where I just old school roguelike, like I'm an at symbol moving around, and then then I went and added this STL interface like as an alternate thing. So if I was on Linux, I could boot this up and it would be like an ASCII display of the same thing. Yeah, so this is kind of what I've been playing around with lately.
That's cool.
And it's been fun.
Do you have that one up too somewhere? Or still working on it?
Do I have what?
Do you have that one up somewhere too?
I don't have this one public yet just because there's not a lot to show yet, but
does Common Lisp, do they have like roles? Like I guess probably William would know, like in Perl there was, in the Moose there was the roles, I guess.
Yeah, the Moose roles. So
I thought that that was all based off of, inspired by Common Lisp. So I thought it would be there.
Vaguely. So Kloss was inspired by Common Lisp. The notion of roles is a way to extend it, but really roles was a way to get the does function versus the duck typing can that Perl does.
Mm-hmm.
And practically speaking, in Common Lisp, all that is adding another, because Common Lisp accepts multiple classes as superclasses.
Mm-hmm, yeah,
so
multiple inheritances. I'm abusing that heavily on.
Is that a superclass, and you get arounds and all that kind of thing by default from Kloss. So, what Mixins did was just make it easier to access that dynamic superclass stuff. I mean, it cut down the amount of syntax you use to do it.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and then I've just for playing around with some Kloss stuff. I did some stuff where like it pulls for like this log and stuff, it pulls the names from the classes themselves instead of me like having a name thing, which I'll probably change eventually, but it was fun to figure out how to do that because like I had to do this weird stuff where if it was a mix-in class, I had to do different logic than if it wasn't, to figure out like what like the main class I guess was, because I can show you like
why do you ever need to know the main class?
So that I wanted to just instead of like assigning a name to a class for the object like a string, I just wanted for this log to be like, oh, the player class, I just want to have player.
But
so
wouldn't that just be a toString, or when you declare a what's it called?
So this is what the class is for player. Mix-in class can see player. Which can see is the mix-in for things that are visible to players, so it actually draws them.
Right. But like there's I forget what it is. There's a setf something or other so that you can change how a class is displayed. There's you could
there's
have a common way to name your class or whatever. But you were just trying to figure out an easy way to just show off the class itself.
Yeah, I just wanted the name of the class. I didn't want like because there's display instance or whatever, the method you can override to actually show.
I think that was something that's also different, Neil, is that in Common Lisp you can't really distinguish between those. He came up with an arbitrary way to distinguish, but like roles really were kind of a separate thing.
Right.
Whereas in Common Lisp you had to do multiple inheritance.
Gotcha.
Like they were in their own. Seem to remember they were implemented in their own little area.
Yeah, that you had to then
So you could know what roles were in there, and you could know the original objects idea.
Right. Then you can see the composition of the roles into the class.
But some of that could just be convention, right?
True.
So if your main class happens to inherit from your own version of object or class or whatever, right? That happens to have the name you care about, then it becomes trivial. And if all your roles have their own role names or whatever, and you maintain a list of that every time you add the mix in. In other words, with Kloss, you can do anything. You can set that up however you need.
Almost.
It's very versatile.
With Mop, you can do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I finally found that book. As I've been rearranging the bookshelves, I finally found the book for the Meta Object Protocol.
Nice. I
What
thought
was the
about
book?
ordering that,
Awesome.
but I haven't
I
yet.
think I have a copy of that too somewhere. Art of the Meta Object Protocol.
Yeah, I bought it, and then like a week later, I moved, like 2 weeks ago, and so it's basically brand new 5 or 6 years ago.
Wow. Is it readable or is it some esoteric
Um,
academic style writing?
it's
that way.
like literate programming the mop.
Why not both?
Yeah, yeah. It's like literate programming of the mop. So
Okay.
they build up throughout the entire book, and you're just seeing tons and tons of Common Lisp code, along with explanations of what direction they're going and stuff with it, and they build up all the pieces of the mop.
Interesting.
Yeah, so it's basically just like the de facto standard for the mop, right?
I mean, it essentially defines it, yes, by
Yeah.
building it in front of you.
Yep. So that's my other project I've been working on.
Cool. So you get 10 days for the game jam. You said there's 30 some people.
Yeah. Let's see. I can check.
What was number one? Who won? Do we have that?
Yeah. Hold on. Let me find the Game Jam page. Surely I know it links to it from here somewhere. Oh, here we go.
Oh, your thing says submission to it on.
Yeah. Yeah, you can click that. And then submissions. There were 22 entries. And then results. Oh yeah, this was good. This first place one. It's do you guys know what what's this thing called? Tick 80. It's like an online, basically like old school console thing that you program using Lua.
Tech 80? No.
Tick, TIC-80. I'm gonna link this top game to the chat. So it's just a thing you play in your browser. But I might mess with this for the next Game Jam. It's Tick 80 Tiny Computer is what it's called.
Oh, okay.
It's which I hadn't heard of. It's a fantasy computer, which is a thing I hadn't heard of until recently. But apparently, it's a thing where there's like these fake old, like basically old computers, but they're not real. But you program them. They're in the browser.
So I guess it's in reference to like the Trash 80 is probably what they're talking about. Okay.
Maybe.
This thing. You're talking about this thing?
Yep, that's it. So yeah, so that some people did their games in that with Fennel because it's Lua. And the winning game used
40
that.
by 136 pixels, 116 color palette, 2 game pads with 8 buttons and a mouse. Sprites. You get spriting. 4-channel sound, 64K of Lua. Okay, so it's better than any of the old 8-bit machines, but not quite like most of the 16-bit machines. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so this would outspec a Commodore 64. Oh, what was that?
I started the game. Some nice music. I don't think I played it with sound when I played it.
Oh wow! What game is this you're playing?
This is the one I linked. It's the one that won this year.
Oh wow!
Share it on the video.
Is that original music or is that out of itch?
I'm guessing it's out of itch since they had 10 days.
Yeah.
Unless you really like making music.
They probably made the sprites and stuff though.
So you can make the sprites ahead of time?
I don't think you can. So basically they let you like have an engine. They let you like make an engine ahead of time. But like they want any like kind of gameplay stuff during the 10 days. Let's see, I think my MC
That's actually good.
For some reason, I have to do uppercase C. I don't think that was. I think that's a problem on mine. I don't think I can do that before. Yeah, so you go through this and it gets harder, and there's a big boss. It's pretty fun.
I love the 4 layers.
Yeah. I think they made it easier. I've gotten hit a bunch and my health has not moved much. But I think when I played it during the game jam, like 4 hits would kill me. But now I feel like I don't even need to dodge. Oh, that did a lot of damage. They made it so different stuff does different damage now, I guess. They kept working on it after the game jam, I think. Yep, that's the winning game.
That actually looks fun.
Yep. Definitely not bad for 10 days.
No.
And how does it show? Can you see how many downloads you've actually had, or anything like that?
I'm sure it tells you that somewhere. So I came in 10th.
10.
Let's see. How do I get to the actual game page? Oh, view game page. Analytics.
There you go.
27 downloads.
So you probably can't see the other game. That's probably, you can probably only see.
Yeah, this is just for my game. Also, that other game wasn't a download thing. It was just a web thing. I mean, you can download the quote unquote cartridge or whatever and load it into TIC80 if you have it installed. But
Okay.
oh, you can even add a Google Analytics code.
There you go.
Man, you can customize a lot of stuff here. Someday I'll make like a real game and actually finish it. Then I'll put it on itch and I'll become famous.
There you go.
Because that's where everyone goes for their games.
That's right.
Actually, how popular is Itch? I didn't, like I said, I made an account, but it was for Tileset.
I mean, it's really big in like the indie kind of community. Like, you're not gonna like get mainstream success if you just put it on itch. You need to like put it on Steam and stuff for that. But
it's like a big deal to get on Steam, right? You have to like go through some sort of submission process and everything.
I mean, it's gotten easier over time. I think now just pretty much anyone can. I'm assuming it's still $100 for one-time thing for developer.
Oh, okay.
Whatever. But then I think you can just put whatever you want on there essentially. Because they used to have like the whole green light process and stuff where people had to like vote on games that made it to the main store and stuff like that. Yeah, it actually has a bundle right now. It's like over 1,000 games, which like most of them are going to be like crappy little indie games that no one's ever heard of. But there are some good ones in there too for $5 for all those. Oh, here it is. So it's 1,637 games for $5.
Can you sort by popularity on the games or something like that?
I don't think you can, but you can. Like, there's game sites and stuff have listed the like Nuclear Thrones in there. Like there's definitely enough good games in here to be worth it if you play games at all. Quadrilateral Cowboys in there.
Mostly just Elite Dangerous these days.
Bleed.
Kind of fly that spaceship.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Mining the low temperature diamonds.
Null pointer. Whatever that is. 3 lesbians in a barrow. Barrow. How do you say that?
Barrow?
I don't know what that is. There's
Like
3 lesbians in it.
A wheeled barrow?
I know what a wheeled barrow is. Is a
Yeah.
barrow just one without wheels?
I guess so.
Drag it?
Or just let it be where it is.
Oh yeah, that could work too.
And if you want when you move around, you get a wheeled barrow.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's correct. I need to Google what.
Well, let's just go with it.
Galactic Wars.
Galactic Wars.
That sounds like I'd like it.
Yeah. So what's everyone else been doing these days?
I was working to stay on the game stuff. I was working on the backstory for my game.
Mm-hmm.
So remember the game that I showed like 2 years ago or whatever, where it's like it went through like 2 iterations and it was supposed to be a spaceship thing? Yeah.
I don't.
Okay. Maybe you weren't there for that one, but yeah.
I might not have been.
Yeah.
Last I saw, I went to that one where we were looking at the closure Unity thing, and you like made a spinning cube or something.
Well, so a long time ago, I was working on a top-down thing in Clojure, not Unity, just Clojure using Quill. It was basically you're walking around in the spaceship, right?
Yeah.
And then I got tired of dealing with Quill, especially when I wanted to figure out sound, and I was just getting annoyed and dumb at it. Then I was like, eventually, I was at the start of the year. I finally was like, well, then I started looking at Arcadia and Unity. That's why I was looking at that. So that was before that, right? And then I went to the Arcadia Unity thing that you saw, and then I was trying to do the same game. And then I got annoyed by that for some reason. I can't remember why. Oh, mainly because it assumed you knew Unity and C# pretty well, which at the time I didn't at all. Well, I do a little bit more now. And then at the start of the year, I was like, oh, I'm gonna just give up and do it with normal tools. And so I was looking at, since I already knew C++ pretty well, Unreal, but then I like spent a good 2 months like trying to figure out like basically how to do anything with 3D modeling, and which is interesting, but I probably need to spend like a good 6 months a year to get not bad at 3D modeling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like played around with Blender long enough to know that I'm just gonna find someone else to 3D model if I ever need it.
Yeah, but so that basically made me decide I don't want to do a 3D game. I want to just do the top down like I was intending to, right? And then now we've got a couple of C# projects at work that are still on our team that are legacy, and it's pretty much just one guy who knows how to do any of it. And so I was like, oh, I'll just go back to Unity, and it'll be a way to force me to learn C#, because it's like these things are like maybe work 3 hours a month on them type of thing, right? It's just like random, like, oh, that thing needs to be updated there. How do I do anything with this? It's not enough where I like could actually learn the language at work, but it's just often enough that we don't want just him doing it. So then I started doing it in C# in Unity, and I'm going through a tutorial that's basically the tutorial guy is trying to do, he's basically trying to do a duplicate of the original Zelda, which, so I've already kind of diverged a lot from him from that, but I'm keeping that actually approach. Like, so I'm writing all the backstory now that it basically, this thing, it looks like Zelda and it looks, you know what I mean? Like, but it's not actually like Middle Ages or anything like that. The backstory is it's like a generation ship that crashed in some planet, and that's why they're all primitive. but there's like stuff that's magic but not, right? It's really just some of the leftover technology from the ship, and it'll be obvious in the game that, you know, like everybody remembers it on the planet, right? It's not like they don't know what happened. It's going to be more like, but it'll be a little bit unobvious at first, right? So that's what I've been working on. And then my hard drive died, so I've been reinstalling. So
nice. Sounds fun. I need to get I have an SSD in my desktop that's like 120 gigabytes, and then just a big hard drive that most of my stuff's on. At some point I need to just get a big SSD and put everything on it.
Yeah, I've got a 2 terabyte SSD, which is my new C drive. My old C drive was a 1 terabyte SSD. And then I've got a 10 terabyte hard drive. And then I have 2 old hard drives that are both 2 terabytes. And then there was another, I think, 1 terabyte hard drive that was my C drive. Or it was not my C drive, but it was my boot drive.
Yep, so
that died.
Here's mine. Pretty low on space there.
Oh yeah, that is tiny.
Yeah, it's not great if you want things on your SSD. Like I even try, like everything I install, I put somewhere else, and it's still like things just default to dumping everything on your C drive.
Is that a laptop or is that a?
This is my desktop.
Yeah, so it was like $230 for a decent 2 terabyte SSD.
Yeah, yeah, I need to just get one, but I don't want to because I assume changing to an SSD like there's not like a way for me to just transfer my stuff. I'm assuming like I got to reinstall Windows and reinstall everything, right?
I've never tried to move Windows to a new hard drive recently. I just did a fresh install because I didn't want to mess with it, and that's when I just went and bought another drive instead of. And plus, I was low on space on my 1 terabyte.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think you can move. I think you can move them pretty relatively easy. I don't know how though.
I'll have to Google that later.
Yeah, I just tried to install Visual Studio, but it needs me to reboot. So I stopped that actually.
Nice.
So we can continue doing Zoom. That's what I've been up to.
Cool. Yeah, I've been wanting to turn my roguelike thing into like an actual game. So I've been trying to like think of what I want it to be, but still working on procrastinating, actually like figuring out the systems and stuff I want in it.
It looks like a good start though.
Yeah, it plays like a simple roguelike so far. Yeah, it's been fun learning about like the what would you call it? The code where you calculate like what's actually visible from the player's position and all that kind of stuff. Reading up on the different algorithms for that.
Mm-hmm. Did you make other games before this, Travis?
No.
This is like your first earnest game then.
Yeah, like when I was in like middle school, I used to like use Game Maker and I made games with that. But like since then, the only thing I've done since then was I made this that thing for the Game Jam, and then I've been playing with this roguelike thing.
Gotcha. So how long were you doing the Common Lisp game? I forgot what did you call that again?
The roguelike?
Yeah, I guess that's the SDL game.
Yeah, SDL, yeah. I mean, SDL is, what does it stand for? Something? SDL
Simple direct layer, something like that.
Yeah. Simple direct media layer. Yeah, so I started on that sometime after the Game Jam, because because I was like, oh, that was fun doing that in Fennel, but I really like Common Lisp, so I want to make a game in Common Lisp now. So sometime after that, I started working on that, and I did the incurses ASCII stuff, and then I was like, well, I'm on a Windows computer sometimes. I should probably make a graphical front end for this so I can work on it on my Windows computer too. So then I spent a while. I just now basically, like, just yesterday, I think, got the SDL front end to like feature parity with the ASCII stuff.
Mm.
Yeah, and it's not something I'm working on like a ton. Like, I'll work on it a bit and then
Stop, and then
then spend a week without touching it, and then be like, oh, I should get back to that. Because if I like, that's why I need to figure out like what my vision is for what this thing's actually going to be. Because if I knew that, then I'd be more motivated to like make it. But right now, I don't know what it's going to be, so it's just like just kind of mess around with it once in a while.
So for this Lisp Game Jam stuff, do Emacs games count using Game Grid?
What's Grid?
Probably.
Game Grid is what's behind like the default Tetris and stuff like that. The thing that makes pretty blocks.
Yeah, I'm sure that would. I'm sure they would accept that. You'd have to like only people that use Emacs would play your game is the downside.
How many Lisp Game Jam developers do you suppose there are that aren't using Emacs? Like 3 out of the 30?
Yeah, I don't know. I wonder if like a lot of the like people doing Fennel and that kind of stuff are using Emacs. Even doesn't Clojure have like a bunch of editors now? Like
yeah, the support in Vim is pretty good. The support in IntelliJ is pretty good. One of the guys on my team has started playing with VS Code and what's it called? Calva, I think. Calva. Yeah. So you've got some options now.
Yeah. I've heard, I haven't used this, but I've heard Atom has decent Common Lisp support these days. But so that's what when I'm talking to people that are wanting to learn Lisp and they don't know, or wanting to learn Common Lisp and they don't know Emacs, I'm like, I've heard maybe try Atom first, because Emacs and Common Lisp are a lot to learn at the same time.
Vim isn't too bad. The Slime V or the V line. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
I'm too used to it now.
Yeah, I've played around with those a little bit, just because like I used Vim before. I started doing Common Lisp, and
VLine's the way to go if you're going to try to do Lisp with Vim.
Right now.
On the other hand, after experiencing it and trying to debug stuff in it, I realized Emacs had the win.
Yeah, that's how I am too. I'm like this is passable, but like Emacs is just such like a flawless.
Yeah, and there's a lot of niceties. Yeah, I admit.
I had the same issue with Clojure. Artem had almost convinced me to go and take another look at Fireplace, but doing Emacs with Clojure versus Vim with Clojure and Fireplace, there was really no competition. And then I started getting curious. Well, maybe I should use NeoVim, because there's that Conjure or whatever. I forget what it's called, but they have a cool little Clojure interaction, and I think I got it half working and realized that it still was nowhere near as good as Emacs's integration, and so I gave up.
It's getting there. It's a work in progress. I mean, I think the guy who wrote Conjure actually rewrote it in Fennel, actually. So he's trying to add other lifts.
I'm going to go to another editor besides Vim. I wasn't going to go to NeoVim, right? I mean, Emacs supports most of my Vim keys.
Yeah, that's my thought process too. I've got Evil set up how I like it now. So that's just what I use now.
I got a toggle in there for it. So when I want to actually do text fast text editing, I'll toggle over to evil mode and then toggle right out with a hotkey to get Emacs editing.
Gotcha. Yeah, I just always am in evil mode. And then if I need to do an Emacs command, I do the / or whatever so I can enter one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, as long as 95% of Lisp people are using Emacs, that's going to be where the best support is.
That was kind of my feeling. I mean, there are things like, what is it? IntelliJ had the cursive mode or whatever for Clojure, and I watched demos of that, and then I realized, no, it's still not as good.
Mm-hmm.
I think you mentioned it in the last meetup. Use the best tool, the best editor the best tool for the language.
That's right. Yeah, that's what I tend towards. So if I'm doing, I'm still thinking PyCharm might be the best for Python work. I haven't yet enjoyed anything I've tried in Emacs land for Python. Just as an example, Writer. I've been enjoying JetBrains Writer for C# work. Mostly because it's faster than Microsoft Visual Studio. And then, of course, IntelliJ if I'm going to do something like Groovy or Java.
What do you do for Elixir, just out of curiosity?
Well, I've been doing Vim for so long, and I'm so used to using IEX, but I started toying with Alchemist. And
that's an editor?
Depending on what computer I'm on, Alchemist... I just haven't focused much on it because I haven't done Elixir work most recently, but I think there's some serious promise with Emacs Alchemist versus all the other solutions I've tried. I even tried the VS Code, the Elixir LSP, and frankly, Elixir LS is weak.
Interesting.
Baba Is You is a nice game.
It is.
Yeah, my daughter purchased that for her Switch.
And
every so often she's like, Daddy, can you help me solve this puzzle? And I'm like, heck yeah, this is kind of cool.
Yeah, some of them are hard.
Yeah.
Why is it saying bye? I already have it.
You logged in?
Yeah. There we go.
Maybe I should just see what's literally the smallest game I could write. My own personal game jam.
Smallest game you could write?
You mean smallest game as in least number of characters?
No. That would take
those are fun to see.
I mean, what's the shortest thing I could write that I would actually feel like legitimately worth uploading to itch.io?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Asteroids?
Yeah, that would be a quick one. That would be
Asteroids but power
or
power ups and stuff.
The game back in the day was Mission Control. Is that still around?
Mission Control. That was the one where you were defending the cities.
Things are
like the side view
incoming from the top of the
man.
screen, and at the bottom you had lasers to point to prevent you from the lines coming down to the bottom.
You know what's easier than that? Robots. All that was you have your little character, and on level 1, there's one robot. You both are randomly placed on the screen, and it's turn-based. You take a turn, you move, and the robot moves in your direction. And the idea is you're supposed to kill all the robots. The way you kill them is they have to run into the rocks that are on the ground, represented in the original game by asterisks. So you had these little R's running after you and these asterisks sitting there, and they would just run into the boulders and die. Or you could get 2 robots to crash into each other. You just randomly place and take turns.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very simple.
Nice.
For that matter, I guess a turn-based strategy game wouldn't be that difficult either.
Oh, or you don't even have, or maybe a board game thing or something.
Yep. And if you want to spruce it up, those are easy to add stupid little animation cycles to.
Yeah.
Or I guess even bottom is just what was the old text-based games? Crap.
Like Muds or Zork or whatever?
Yeah, like that, like Zork. There we go.
Yeah.
That's even more rudimentary. That's just more about the strategy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Yeah, been done to death, but that was a simple state change type thing with the inventory system. It's amazing. You know, there's not much to a game. Have you guys seen Game Star Mechanic?
No.
No.
What's that?
So I introduced my daughter to that. Apparently it's a good teaching system for kids, but they basically give you kind of a game setup and an easy way to make your own games, tile-based games. They'll do platformers or top-down. And what it's about is learning really game mechanics, what really makes a game. And they try to guide you or coach you in that direction. Like, oh, it looks like you created a game where your character is just sitting there able to shoot all the massive enemies and there's no challenge to it. Well, you should throw a challenge. One of your problems is space. You should have something that your character has to navigate around in order to get to the enemies to kill them. You know, maybe you should have a time limit as a pressure towards finishing the game, so that, you know, basically you add complications in order to make a game interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So that's some of the question. What's the simplest game I can make? Well, you're going to have a mechanic of some sort. Now, how do you make that mechanic complicated?
Yeah.
Yeah, sometime I want to make one of these business card games like I have on my screen share.
That's pretty funny.
It's apparently like a whole subculture of people make games that can fit on a business card, the code.
I kind of like that. You have that on one side of your card and actually put it on your business card.
Yeah. Hell, you
Give me a
print it
business
out
card.
here. Oh, that didn't get any bigger.
The what? I don't think I've actually.
It needs to be legibly printable on a business card. And you have your code on the back and your actual contact information on the front. Or something like that.
Yeah.
Huh. I don't even heard of that before. Wow.
And then like they'll like
Hey, I hear
make
my
it
dog
like
going, and
people
someone's
do it and like make it look cool.
Y'all take care.
See ya. Till next
See
time.
ya.
Yep, it was fun.
Been real.
I'm going to kill the video.